Hello, welcome. We are doing a simple practice. I don't know what to say. There's a small group of Buddhist monks walking across America right now, walking to Washington, D.C., and it's a peace walk, and it's a peace walk in particular for peace in America. They're walking for peace, for balance, for unity, for compassion. Well, I just found out about this a few days ago, before the new year. I don't know when news first came out about it, but it seems like it's just recently really getting attention. A few weeks before it got attention, I had this idea, it occurred to me, to do the Lord's Prayer followed by a meditative moment. And that became Vipassana meditation. It became Vipassana meditation because I felt called to put this practice online. And in that process, Vipassana meditation seemed like the natural meditation to go with if I was going to give any instructions at all on meditation. Vipassana meditation is considered Buddhist in origin, or the Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha, is credited with at least revitalizing Vipassana meditation and bringing it back to the people in a time when it was lost. The Lord's Prayer is, of course, a famous prayer from Jesus. So I started to do this practice, and I started to record it online as I felt called to. And a few days later, news broke about these Buddhist monks that were walking across America for peace. Now, I believe these Buddhist monks have been walking since the end of October, but I don't know how much news coverage they've had. I've only recently come across the news coverage myself, and it seems like that's when the news is really broken for a lot of people. So sort of a bit timely, synchronistic timing perhaps, for me at least. Being called to do this practice publicly, and then hearing about the Buddhist monks walking across America for peace. Vipassana means insight. So it's that simple. That's all it means. Vipassana meditation is intended to create a space where presence and insight can occur. That's it. Of course, some people get really caught up on religious differences. Hold on. They get really caught up on religious differences. They interpret so many differences in theology or whatever else into things, and so they become resistant to trying anything else, especially if they hear words that seem foreign to them. For example, Vipassana. But again, Vipassana simply means insight. So the whole point of Vipassana meditation is to create a space of presence where insight can occur. That's all. So I did not put these two practices together for the sake of trying to make a social statement, trying to combine a Christian practice and a Buddhist practice. My intention wasn't that, at least not consciously. Not totally. Really, I find that these two things go well together. The Lord's Prayer, the meaning in the Lord's Prayer, the intention in the Lord's Prayer, and, well, the themes, the peace, the forgiveness, things like that. that are meant to, that the Lord's Prayer is meant to give us, create for us, within us, I find to go quite well with Vipassana meditation, or with the benefits or themes or intentions of Vipassana meditation. I have explored both of these spiritual traditions and others. I have practiced different practices, and so for me it was quite natural for these things to go together. That's it. Should we do the practice? What time do we got? We're almost 6 minutes in. Let's do it. I can always cut the video into 2 later. Here's the starting instructions. Prepare for the meditation. We will do the prayer and then we'll go into the meditation. But settle in, sit. If you're comfortable standing for several minutes, you can do that. But I would recommend sitting. You can lay down as well. Typical posture, seated cross-legged. You don't have to do that. That's simply the go-to kind of posture for me in meditation. You can sit with your feet on the ground. You can keep your eyes open. You can keep your eyes closed. You can keep your eyes slightly open. Whatever works for you. What's most important is not about the postures. It's really about, what's most important is really not about the postures. Let's leave it at that. So I'm going to recite the prayer and then we'll go into the meditation.